Is it much further?
We'll reach Sukdal shortly, if those woodcutters by the forest weren't making it up. They looked pretty frightened.
Maybe they were just in awe of your beauty.
My, you've got a silver tongue, eh?
Not that I want to contradict, but I think there might be another reason. Sigismund is riding roughshod over the country, so the people are cautious. I can't blame them.
If it was only Sigismund. The devil is just as bad.
I thought we'd sorted all this out. He's no saint, not by any means. But he is an ally of the king, and my friend.
Who is?
The dry devil.
Lord Hynek of Kunstadt, Burgrave of Znojmo Castle, a great warrior, and at this moment a guest of the Lord of Sukdal.
He's a drunkard, and a dangerous, violent man.
I'll watch him, don't you worry.
You always say that, and there's always trouble. How do you propose to watch a fella like that? He's mad!
Can you give it a rest? I don't need you insulting him before I get a word in.
Great. So I'm to keep my mouth shut, eh?
Say what you like, just don't go bugging the devil. At least for a while. That's all I'm asking.
What happens after we get to Sukdal?
We'll find out soon enough. The main thing we have to hope for is that the local lord will even receive us.
Who is that?
Sir Peter of Pisek, Mint Master to King Wenceslas himself.
He's got
Very
an important visit.
man.
I bet he can't wait for us to ride into his courtyard.
We don't look too impressive, that's true. But I'm hoping Dry Devil will put in a word for us.
And what's your plan after that? We have to save Sir Hans.
Don't worry, we'll get to that, if it's not too late.
Hopefully it won't be. He's a noble, so they'll ransom him.
I don't know. His uncle has a reputation for being a pinch purse. You know him, Henry?
I know him. And I think I know why they say what they do about him.
But that's all by the by anyway. I intend to wage war, not parley. And if I know Dry Devil, he's of the same mind.
Won't it be dangerous for Sir Hans?
It will, and for us too. But I'm sure Lord Capon is expecting that. He rode to Trotsky as a messenger to von Berghoff. I reckon he must have had some idea what might happen.
Long last.
What's this? The gate's wide open.
Watered, fed, saddled, first thing. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Greetings. What's your business here?
The blessing of our Lord Jesus Christ, sir. I expect you're Peter Pisek. I am Jan Žižka of Trocnov. I have an important message for your guest, Hynek of Kunstadt. Actually, for you two.
A message for the Dry Devil.
Well now, Captain Žižka and young Henry.
Margaret Jobs.
Sir.
I'm afraid your friend Hynek is no longer here. I'd love to know what brought you two together. But also, what the hell happened to you?
Well, sir,
Unfortunately, I'm otherwise occupied at the moment. Get some rest. You're clearly in dire need of it. We'll talk tomorrow. Sir Peter, please, take care of our guests.
Yes, sir.
Let's go!
He's all we needed.
You must be tired and hungry after your journey. Follow me.
You have a very fine fortress, my lord.
I'm glad you think so.
You don't?
To be honest,
sort you
I'd
out
much
nicely.
prefer to go back to Kuttenberg. Life in a fortress isn't ideal for a man with my experience.
And with your fortune.
That gets worryingly smaller every day, Lord Trotsnov.
Hardly surprising if you're putting up the Margrave here.
No, that's more down to his Hungarian cousin, if you get my meaning.
Perfectly, my lord.
My God, these furry mutts.
God bless.
I beg your pardon, milady, but could you... I'm asking because I've just arrived.
If it's mercenary work you're interested, you'll have to ask God be with you. Careful!
What did I do to you? Praise. Good day.
Eat whatever takes your fancy, my friends. You look like you've had a...
The journey wasn't so...
Where are you coming from?
From Trusky.
That's Sir Otto von Burgo's domain.
We were in a castle cellar.
My God, how...
Simple. I'm in the service of Lord Sokol of Lamberg. Same as Dry Devil.
Absolutely. But it...
Actually, it was pretty much.
Well, more like a...
And we nearly got von Ber-
And what prevented you from...
Mark Vart von Aulis.
I know that name.
Exactly.
But why would the Pragas send...
But they didn't, sir. They weren't sent to Trusky, but here. They just stopped off to visit von...
Here? To my...
Not just here, but everywhere where King Wenceslas still
And that's also one of the reasons why we're here. We came to warn you. It seems Sigismund's run out of patience. He's going to break the... So he's convened all his followers in Kuttenberg with von Berghoff and...
We've got to secure the fortress quickly, stock up on supplies, but I'm grateful to you, friends. Wait here. Bring that red from Burgundy right...
You might want to...
I'll gladly risk his this...
It seems we both have the same...
Well, where do you know him from?
I don't really know him as such. We merely...
Yes, I've heard of you.
Yes, a bandit. It's no secret, sir. King Wenceslas and Catherine here...
I'm sure that's of no interest. And anyway, if anyone knows Jobst well...
Well, we only met once, in fact.
Anyway, we're... As I said, one of the reasons we came here is to warn you. Where is he?
Well, he was here for...
Was here?
Where did he go?
I couldn't say. He
That's quite normal for him.
I had no issue with him. It's more about...
I can't say.
Let's just say that after an exchange of opinions, I'm sure if you're interested in the details...
I'd be.
What was Dry Devil doing?
Waging war, if you can call it that. He ambushed 3 of Singer's... It made me a little nervous. In the end, it was...
So, what about us?
The Margrave will certainly want to talk to you. But I hope until then, you won't refuse my offer of a bed for the night.
Just an offer. So you'd let us leave?
Well, the Margrave did ask me to look after you until he returns.
Who's security?
Good question.
So be it.
Sir, there's still one more thing we came for. Lord von Bergov is... And we also have to warn Jobst's ally, John of Liechtenstein.
Sorry, I don't. I didn't even know...
Which is actually good news. If he'd been caught and executed, the...
Thank you for the warm welcome.
It's the least I could do, lad. My fortress is open to...
I suppose I ought to get to bed.
I had some chambers prepared for all of you. Yours is right here in the palace. Cross that corridor and go up the stairs. You can't miss it. There's a garland above the door. But first, eat your fill. All of you. And maybe you'd like to bake... I told my servant Susanna to prepare baths for you. The baths are in the little house in the courtyard.
A bit longer without food, and I'll really start to be grumpy.
I don't feel much like moving.
Good evening.
Show me you.
Thanks.
could go for
and
something
have
to
a
eat
nice
now.
day, friend.
Lord Pisek said we could have a...
Yes, sir. I prepared the whole...
Thank you.
You needn't thank me. And now, if you'll allow...
So, I went to see my brother, and to talk about the inheritance. But you're...
We beseech thee, O Lord, thy grace into our hearts, that we, to whom the incarnation of Christ, thy Son, was made known by the message of an angel, may by his passion and cross be brought to the glory of his resurrection. Amen.
Look out! God be with you.
We should get going.
I really need to eat something.
So you got your revenge? Father, did it make you feel any better? It did. So what comes next?
Mark von Aulitz is next. Then von Berghoff.
And is that what you really want, son? No matter how many people you kill, you can't change what's happened.
It's what I want.
Are you sure, Henry?
What's happening? Why are you waking me up? You again?
Yes, the Margrave is calling for you, sir. You and the other gent.
You mean Zizka?
I suppose. I don't know.
And what about...
That's the good wife who arrived. Before you go, I brought... Oh, have I...
No. Do you need...
No?
So...
You haven't dismissed...
I'm not a nobleman.
I do, since you're... Thank you.
What did I do to you?
Meine Dame, we aren't idle here.
Hello. I'm just holding a discussion with the captain.
That's not how I... In the end, as my Großvater said, what do you say, lad?
I have to admit, the soldiers here...
I get the feeling you'd run.
Leave him be, meine Dame.
Now look here, I was just being polite.
Ach ja?
Do you fancy yourself?
Come, Junge. We'll stuff your clothes with straw. So, pull cart, come here. The first to bleed loses.
Look out!
You see, meine Dame? We aren't idle here.
Hello? I'm...
That's in the... What?
Oh,
Leave.
now look.
Do you...
Come, pull the first...
That! Ah!
You see, meine Dame? We aren't idle here.
Hello? I'm...
That's in the... What?
Oh,
Leave.
now look.
Do you...
Come, pull the first...
Wanker!
Excellent.
Gut gemacht. You have my admiration. You really are.
You should receive some kind of...
And what reward?
I was rearranging our saddlebags and I...
Oh,
A hunting crossbow. I was meaning to sell it.
my word. I better go and find Zizka.
I saw Zizka next to the stables. There was some girl hanging around him.
Do you want to come with us?
Not really. I have a feeling we'll...
Why?
A woman's in...
What a nice day.
And this scar? It's strange, crooked, like a letter from a fancy book.
This?
How are things, Captain?
What do you think? I've seen better.
Yeah.
Just wait until you've been through as much.
I doubt I'll ever live long enough to be as battered.
Ha! Looking at you, I've no fear of that.
I don't know.
You might be surprised. But enough chat. I see.
That's why I'm here. I wanted to take Catherine along too. But she said...
She's doing the right thing. And you better run ahead and greet the Margrave.
I'll be going then.
Operation is over and done with. Everything's going well. I'm in fine fettle. It's almost odd how well things...
I'd like to learn...
What do you want?
I'm interested in...
All right then, but it'll...
I'd like to...
What is it?
How's it going, Captain?
Sehr interessant.
What of it?
Was soll ich sagen? After our Lord paid rent, aber warte. You ought to have a word with our huntsman Dobrosh. He must see. Someone poached a white...
White roebuck?
Yeah, and Dobrosh takes it as a...
What exactly do you...
Just ask him if there's anything new happening in his town. Oh, ja, ja. Und das war alles.
All right. I heard Kuttenberg surrendered to Sigismund.
They are. These dreckigen... But they couldn't have been more wrong. Why should he pay them out of his...
What?
Dann pass mal auf. As soon as the soldiers began looting the...
So that Hungarian bastard is getting...
Das trifft den Namen. And yet, that carrot-top Schweinehund lets the monks in...
Do you know by chance how to get into that...
Wie bitte? Hast du den Verstand verloren? And listen closely to what I tell you. I'd leave Sigismund alone. The wheels of justice grind slow.
I need to top up my supplies. Where could I find some merchants?
You'd be better off asking the innkeeper Slivka in the village about these things. And that's no surprise.
How do things work around here?
Not really. Except for the Sigismund military camp. Diese Banditenbanden have settled in. So...
Where did you say Sigismund's army?
They've occupied the hill above the main road. When you walk out of the village and look toward Opatpa, that Hungarian camp is like...
How do I get to Kuttenberg?
Das ist nicht schwer. You just take the main, or you can also follow your nose. The smell is hell, but it's worth it for the silver.
Did Sigismund do...
Oh, yes, as soon as he got here. But my man, mein Herr Peter, however, the village is in...
What happened?
They raised Messerles. They haven't been here since then. Der Teufel.
How's it going, Captain?
Sehr...
What of it?
So, zum Glück nicht. If you're looking for einen Pfuschen.
Stand up to this.
Henry. Where's Captain Zizka?
He got held up.
I received a report that von Bergov's banner is flying in the camp of my dear cousin Sigismund, so I assume the negotiations at Trotsky didn't go too smoothly.
No, sir. I don't have good news for you, I'm afraid.
Well, good or bad, I'm sure you have plenty to report. So what happened with von Bergov at Trotsky?
Bergov had no interest in our message. By the time we finally arrived at Trotsky, he'd already long since made a deal with Sigismund. But of course, he didn't tell Sir Hans and me anything. And on top of that, he used us to do his dirty work. Everything went to hell in the end, and we ended up in a dungeon. In fact, that's why we're here.
So I've heard. It's been some time since our meeting in Ratai.
Well, it wasn't the best circumstances to meet Zhizka in. We crossed swords. I think it's some Jan Sokol.
That would...
Forgive me, my lord, but aren't you all on the same side?
Bear in mind that my dear cousin, His Majesty King Wenceslas, and each of them has their own...
I understand.
On the contrary, if I could get them all together in one banquet hall, give them their fill of wine and venison, let's move on. I heard something about a
Things went wrong right from the beginning. Lord Capon and I were lucky to get out of it alive.
Von Berghoff refused to aid a nobleman in...
Well, to be honest, we were ambushed while bathing in a pond. And then we fled through the woods.
Ah, that...
You can't even imagine it,
I certainly can. In any case, are you sure there's nothing else?
Well, you should probably know that Istvan...
Who's he?
One of Sigismund's cronies.
Ah, yes. Hanush and Red...
They had to.
Yes. Well, it's actually quite...
Well, no one let him go this time.
Very good. From what I've heard, he was a bandit and a cut. And do you want to tell me anything?
That's all that happened, sir.
Truly. My court messenger and bearer of tidings, both good and bad. By the way, you said you were... Tell me.
Well, although it wasn't me who told him...
What?
About Liechtenstein. I'm really sorry, sir.
But you've nothing to be ashamed of. I think it's too much...
But Lord Liechtenstein...
John went straight into the lions. Thank you for the news. You're free to go if you want. But I would be glad, as soon as it's possible, you can join a...
What? No, I have to rescue Sir Hans.
A noble thought. But you mustn't worry about Lord Capon.
But I made a promise.
I understand, but honestly, the most sensible course...
Margrave.
Ah, Captain Zhizka. Henry and I were just discussing Lord Capon.
Yeah, the Margrave thinks he's in no danger, and we should wait for a ransom demand.
As one does.
I wanted to talk to you about something else. I suppose you're wondering why your friend Hinnek, also known as the Dried Devil, isn't here?
Oh, there's plenty of gossip going on around the fortress. You and Pisek refused to grant him asylum.
Asylum is for those in distress, Captain. Hinnek came to burn and pillage. I have quite different plans.
Oh. And what might those be, Margrave? Sitting and talking while King Wenceslas rots in a dungeon. What would I expect? Not so long ago, you were conspiring with Sigismund against Prokop, your own brother!
It would be futile trying to explain to you the intricacies of the Luxembourg's dynastic politics. Let me just explain that that was what was called for in the situation. But I assure you that I am now acting in the best interests of this country and of King Wenceslas.
You're acting first and foremost in your own interests. Everyone knows that.
Strong words coming from a man who earns his bread by killing merchants on the road. No offense intended, I applaud your art. The pen is mightier than the sword, but there are times when it's vice versa. Enter!
All ready to leave now, sir?
Good. It's high time. I expect the captain was about to leave anyway. Are you not?
With pleasure.
And you, Henry?
Me? Well, sir, I made a promise.
I understand. I won't attempt to keep you here by force. But bear in mind, I have concluded a very fragile truce with Sigismund, which gives us time to get ready. And if anyone should disrupt my plans with headstrong acts of violence, there will be consequences. Grave consequences. I consider this matter closed. Farewell and good luck.
I get the feeling Yopes didn't make a great impression on you. Are we leaving?
Yeah. And Henry's going with us.
Wait, you'll help me find Capon?
Sure. But we'll need people for that. And information. Catherine, I've got a job for you.
Yes?
Go to Kuttenberg. Find out what happened to Liechtenstein. If anyone knows what's going on in this godforsaken country, it'll be him. In the meantime, we'll go and find Dry Devil and his band.
Good luck. I'd go all the way to Rome to spy if it kept me away from the devil.
Let's go!
Stay close. The devil doesn't know you.